Alright, so this is Robert reporting with Republic Rising for the third time today. Mostly because there was the two things that I really wanted to talk about, and then obviously Justice Kennedy stepping down. I just wanted to make a quick video on him. But this other topic I wanted to talk about today is something that I've been thinking about for a while, but I don't know, I guess I just wanted to get it out there in the ether, or whatever. Let's see. That don't matter. Okay, the question is, do leftists hate humanity, or are they just ignorant? And I've bounced between those two for quite a while, but I think I'm firmly getting down on one side, and I think by the end of this video you'll know which side that is, mostly because I'll say it. So the first point I wanted to make was, there was a quote by Charles Krauthammer, God rest his soul, just passed away just a couple days ago, that he had a great quote about almost this subject. And the quote is, "The right think the left is wrong. The left think the right are evil." And that's huge, because that essentially, within that philosophy right there, justifies a lot of the stuff you're seeing right now with how the left are acting ever since Trump got into office. And I think the reason why the left are going so crazy now that Trump's in office isn't because Trump's this racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever you want to come up with, that the leftists have tried penning on him this whole time. Rather, he actually got the left to show themselves for who they actually are. Because what happened when Middle America effectively elected Donald Trump was the left got taken out of power. Because even with the other conservatives that were presidents prior, like both Bushes, and even slightly Reagan, but he was way more conservative than the Bushes, obviously. But they've essentially, the leftists have had control of effectively American society, Western society, for the last 20, 30 years. I mean, they've had control of our political system, they've had control of our educational system, and they've had control of our entertainment/media. And that's also a reason why I guess I'll point this shirt out again, that conservatism is the new counterculture. Because very few conservative ideas are part of the commonplace culture right now until Trump came in, where he's allowing them to actually be proudly displayed again, where for the last 5-10 years we've almost had to go into hiding with the fact that we loved America and we thought it could be better than what it was, from the Bushes to the Clintons to the Bush to Obama and all that. We didn't like where it was going. And he gave us actually the chance to believe once again. Now, the one thing I think Trump needs to do to push him over the edge, to really be considered one of the greatest presidents, is he needs to jail the crooks. He needs to jail a lot of these people that are in the swamp that have sold our country out to mainly the Chinese for the most part, but to mostly just foreign interests, international bankers for the most part. That he needs to start jailing people like Comey, like Strzok, or I guess technically not him, but the Justice Department, and even like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Now, I can see the Barack Obama one probably not happening just because of the whole, he was president, so it's that whole politics of the aspect of it, but at the very least, jail Clinton. Because when Comey came out and admitted all those crimes that she did, had it have been anyone else other than Clinton, they are sitting right now in Leavenworth with no chance of parole. So why isn't she in there? Why is that double standard there? Mostly it's because she's a liberal. Liberals are, especially under these last 15, 20 years, have become the untouchable class, where it doesn't matter what they do, what they say, they get away with it because how the media will portray it as if they are the caring ones. So, and the best example of that is with this border issue that Trump is having, where they're saying he's ripping babies away from parents. Nope. And what Technically, he is separating them at the moment because that is law, but that is what you do when people violate the law. You separate them, and with how many human traffickers are coming across the border, you can never be sure that that child is actually belongs to that parent. So you better make sure. So he's following the law. And if you guys don't like that law so much, stop asking him to be a dictator and change the law himself, because that would put him in the position of what you said you were afraid he was going to be, which is someone that would just come in and make his own rules as he sees fit, like Obama. No, what Trump is doing is what every president should have been doing, is saying if you want that to change, it's got to go through the Congress, and then he will sign it. That is the constitutional route. That is how it should be done. So, I want to try to get through this quick because obviously at about the 30-minute mark on my camera right now, it always shuts off, so I got to try to keep it within that. So, real quick, the fundamental ideology of the left. And this is what I have come to over my years of dealing with them and all that, and just watching how they react and how they explain themselves or how they'll talk about a certain issue. And their ideology, I've boiled it down to this, is that the individual in and of itself is evil or incompetent. You can flip that up however which you want depending on the liberal. But the individual is either evil or incompetent and must be compelled to do good, where the government must be there. If it wasn't for, effectively, like within the leftist philosophy, if a law wasn't in place saying you can't do that, then everyone would just do it willy-nilly, because that's the only reason people don't do things, is because there's a law. That's the leftist philosophy. That's why anytime something happens, they want to either have it taxed, because in order to tax something, they have power to destroy it, or they want it regulated up the wazoo. Like if you want to start a business, look how many loopholes you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to get so much permission from people who produce nothing in order to get permission to do something. That's ridiculous. That's not a free society. Those are leftists trying to control your every move, your thought, and everything. Their main game, obviously, is identity politics, where they obviously would much rather have a diversity of skin color rather than a diversity of ideas. And that plays itself out in so many areas right now. Like the most obvious ones coming off the top of my head are like, what are the colleges' names? Harvard's doing it, Yale's doing it, Evergreen's doing it, where the leftists are now getting so extreme, they're saying they want segregated graduations. They're calling for segregation again, the leftists. And for the most part, sadly, it's a lot of these blacks are calling for segregation. They want themselves to be segregated again. What? You fought to leave that out of Jim Crow and civil rights, and now you want it back? I mean, what the hell? That makes no sense at all. And obviously there's the insane double standards within with the left, where you can have Peter Fonda calling for the kidnapping of Barron Trump, for the raping of him by pedophiles and all that in the prison system, just so Trump can understand what these people are going through, and that's not what's happening to those damn kids. Now, is he going to lose any endorsements? Is he going to lose any jobs he's had, or any of his movies going to be pulled now because he's made a disgraceful comment like that? Nope. But you know who will get their stuff pulled? Roseanne, who isn't even a conservative, who just played a conservative on TV. That is how light within the conservatism world you need to be for the leftists to start to hate you. Because if you listen to who Roseanne actually is, she is not a conservative. And she has said stupid shit her whole life. So why are you so shocked when she had another comment like that saying Valerie Jarrett looks like one of the actresses out of Planet of the Apes? Well, just because, oh, it's a dark-skinned person and you compared him to a monkey. How dare you? How dare you? Oh, really? When you guys are the same damn people who compare Donald Trump to an orangutan? What's the difference? There is none. But those people never get called out or shamed or lose any of their promotions or lose their credentials. No! What about Bill Maher, where he can call himself what was it? It was either a porch inn or a house inn. And I hate that even I kind of censor myself within that right there, because in essence that's kind of racism. That thinking that only blacks can say something, meaning just because of the color of your skin, you can or cannot say something. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But just for the purpose of this video, and I'm sure I'm going to offend a lot of people. I really don't care. And then obviously one of the big things is you listen to the leaders of the left, the people who are the forefront of all that, to where they can come out and say the craziest crap. Like Feinstein can talk about how she wants to confiscate all guns. The second she has the power to do it, she will do it. Yeah, Maxine Waters saying anytime you see someone either within the Trump administration or any conservative out in public, you need to shame them and tell them they're not welcome here anymore. You got people like, what is his name? Not Green from Texas. It's a guy from Georgia. Damn it, I can't remember. Oh well, but it's all these leaders that are calling for the crazy, insane crap and going nuts and crying Schumer and all that, but they have to work to find someone on parallel on the right, to where usually it's not our leader. And you might say, oh, Trump's inflammatory. Whether he is or he isn't, I'll give you that one, even though I disagree with it. Now, let's find another. You're going to have to go, essentially, to people who have no power, people who aren't even in office, people who are living in backcountry, individuals and all that stuff, not even state representatives, to find the people who call themselves right-wingers or conservatives and all that stuff, that are nuts or crazy, that are calling for murder or chaos and all that stuff. You need to find a fringe way out there. Whereas on the left, those are the people that are elected and in office are the extremists. There's a big difference right there. And a couple things I wanted to pull up with the awesome ad overlays that I know how to do. I'll show you. I need to figure out how to do these computer things, but okay. So the first one I'm going to show you is from the Fiscal Times, written in 2014 by John Gergich, something like that. Here, I'll show you for yourself. Who's more generous, liberals or conservatives? And I bet you can figure it out right away. That conservatives... Oh, look at that. It's first sentence. Conservatives give more money to charity than liberals. That's conventional wisdom. Anyway, at least one new study backs that thinking up. And it goes through and basically talks about... Let's see, what was that paragraph? Overall, the states which gave the highest percentage of their adjusted gross incomes were also the states that voted for Romney, while states which gave the lowest percentage of their adjusted gross income went for Obama. The top 17 states for rate of giving all went to Romney. Conservatives give more than liberals. And it goes on and it liberates just a little bit more. Let's see, let's do this one. This one is from ResearchGate.net. Oh, that one that I just showed you was from thefiscaltimes.com. Okay. So this one, political ideology predicts involvement in crime. And there's the time it was written. Those are the people it was written by. That's the website it's on if you want to go check it yourself. And effectively, it boils down to, this is the main graph that they show. And over here, looks a little fuzzy. This is where it says very liberal. Over here, very conservative. And this is what the estimated standardized scores on criminal involvement. So it goes to show liberals, from their study, tend to be involved in far more crime than the right-wingers. What a shocker! And then, obviously, I'm going to go to one more, which I think just completely sums up exactly the difference between the right and the left. And this is from the Washington Post, so you know it can be true. Conservatives really are better looking, researcher says. And it's so true. It's so true. And here it kind of goes through, what was the part that I wanted to read? It was, yeah, essentially it was kind of right here. In a nutshell, the low information city elections, a beauty increase of one standard deviation attracts about 20% more votes for the average candidate on the right and about 8 more votes for the average candidate on the left, the study finds. In high information elections, the figure is roughly 14% for the candidates on both the right and left. And I think that is just hysterical. And there was this one picture that people pulled up. It was, and they showed like the top 20, 30 women in each group, like Republicans and Democrats and all that stuff, and it was a landslide, not even close. And I don't think this is my biased opinion on this, because, well, it could be, because I've got very high standards of what I think an attractive woman is. But you look at just the physical appearances of people who call themselves liberals and people who call themselves conservatives. Conservatives, hands down, are so much better looking. It is not even close. So, I absolutely believe that right there. So, that one doesn't really help answer the question, but I think it's important. Absolutely. So, that just, I guess, goes to my point. Do I think that the leftists hate humanity or just ignorant? I think more than the other. I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's more that they hate humanity. And it's because it's how they've been trained to think in our socialist re-education camps that we call our public education, that humans are just a cancer on this earth, that all we do is destroy, all we do is kill, all we do is create things to kill one another, that there's very little good in society, and that we're mostly just this cancerous scum that's killing this planet, and that no one wants to get off and go live anywhere else because that's all we're going to do over there too. So that makes it very easy for them to fall into a movement whose ideology essentially is the individual can't be trusted, the individual is evil, and you need to compel them to be good. So in other words, you need the government to force people to act right. And that's why the leftists will typically fall over there, in my opinion. So that's what I think. What do you think? Do you think the leftists hate humanity or are just ignorant? Or do you think I'm somehow off? And I'll give you a hint. I'm not. Because I just proved it to you. Conservatives, the one that I didn't pull up is conservatives volunteer more, conservatives donate more, conservatives commit less crime, and conservatives are better looking. What do you leftists got? Outside of, you guys are dang good at throwing a temper tantrum. I'll give you that. You guys can throw a temper tantrum with the best of them. So that's all I got for right now, for today, hopefully. So yeah, tell me what you think. Do you think leftists hate humanity, or are they just ignorant? I would wish it was just ignorance, because you could bring people out of ignorance. You can educate them, you can show them facts and all that stuff, but there's a lot of people who are so ensconced into their side that you can show them that the color white is white, and they'll just be like, no, my party says it's black, so that's black. So, this is Robert reporting for Republic Rising. And just like we said, man, keep your eyes on the research, because it says everything. It says it all.